We have more tools to go over, and then we get into how we combine all this into a trading strategy. The first thing that I want to look at for a next tool, this is, I like to measure accumulation in the marketplace. That's the green line. It's a measure of buying and selling pressures coming into the market. It is in the course material that you'll get with TradeStation Ninja Trader. I have been working on this since 1966, trying to figure out how accumulation, smart money, smarter than me, comes in and buys stocks. A lot of original work was done on this by two people in San Francisco, a husband and wife team, Woods and Vignolia. Joe Granville took their idea of cumulative volume and called it on balance volume, and that became wildly popular. Dave Bastian also did some work with that, with his intraday intensity index, and I took it another step looking at the relationship of openings and closing prices to get my accumulation in the marketplace. Basically what happens is when the market's coming down, but we're diverging, accumulation's coming in the market, we know that on this decline, price-wise, it looks like a lot of selling, but really in terms of volume, there wasn't. So this should start to rally. By the same token, we'll make a new high in price, but not in accumulation. There's been no real follow-through of buying on this, and we would expect a decline to take place in the market. It's a really nice tool, but it's an overused tool. It's not a setup tool. It's a qualifier. I don't have to see accumulation there for me to take a trade. I'd like to. I feel better about it, but I won't take a trade just because there's OBV divergence or my accumulation divergence in the marketplace. I'd love to see it there. Doesn't have to be, but I prefer that it is there, but it will not set up a trade in and of itself of its own. This is Disney, another all-time great stock. And we see that Disney's coming down. We're diverging. Actually, on this decline, a pretty sizable decline, there wasn't much selling at all, probably a buy. At the peak in Disney before it collapsed last year, make new highs, but people are getting out of the market. The big guys like sneaking go, shh, don't tell anybody, we're gonna go. And then all of a sudden, boom, it comes down. So I like it to confirm a trade, but I initially in the 1960s would take a trade just because of an on-balance volume divergence. But I don't do that, stopped doing that a long time ago. It confirms trades as opposed to finding a trade for me. And it works on everything. This is Facebook, relatively new stock. Some of you are on Facebook probably, right? It's really a popular thing, I guess. At my age, I don't do that. I thought instead of doing Facebook, I just did the same thing. I walked down the street, told people what I had for dinner last night, and I wanted new friends. The police came and grabbed me. Why do people do this? It's amazing change in society. Well, look what happened to Facebook. It rallies, but there's no accumulation to it. It declines and it's being accumulated until, a lot of distribution in the market and it comes down. So it's been a nice little tool over the years to use, but again, it's confirmation of a trade. I wouldn't take it just because there's divergence. Oh, one back here, and then I'll come in the front, Petra.
Is this similar or the same to Progo, your other?
Similar but different because this is stocks.
Okay.
Yes?
Would you consider killing a trade if it is against the direction?
If I saw massive accumulation coming in the market and I was going to be a seller, yeah, I probably would pass on the trade. I could use it to say, there's too much buying coming into the marketplace. Here's Twitter, another one of those things that all you young people are into. And Twitter, nice rally, but all the old guys were selling it, I guess. And look at the accumulation of Twitter. Down, but just buy, and it starts a nice rally. And again, we can see distribution at the top in Twitter. So if this is all you had, and that's all we had in 1962. We had charts and we had on-balance volume. We didn't have anything else. We didn't have computers to do this. We didn't have calculators back then. Some of you remember those days. It was amazing. I got a calculator. You push numbers and pull down on a crank and it would give you an answer. Like, wow, high tech. Whoa. And now it's like, so this was a basic tool we had, good tool, but I've learned it's better to trade confirmation. Well, I do like sentiment. This is a measure of advisory sentiment. And it's exactly what you would expect. When all the newsletters are bullish on it, you would expect the market to come down. When nobody is bullish on it, we should be at a market low. When everybody is bearish on it, we're probably at a market high. When all the letters are saying don't buy this stock, you should probably be a buyer. When they're all saying go buy it, you should probably be a seller. It's a setup tool, clearly. It's not a go out and buy this stock just because of this indicator. But if I see a seasonal and I see that the advisor negative on a stock and it's under distribution, then I have a trade. So I'm selective in my trades. I don't want to take a trade just to have a trade. I've had way too many trades in my life. I'm very selective in my trades. Most of you will trade just for any reason at all. Some of you trade for no reason at all. Just the sport of it, I guess. I don't know. But I stopped doing that quite a few years ago. I want to have a reason there to take the trade. Here it is with IBM. Same thing happens. Oh, everybody says buy IBM. And of course it comes down. Nobody wants to buy it and it goes up. That's just the way the markets work. So it's a good general idea of what to expect in the market. Let's see what we have here next here. Amazon, same thing. Nobody wants to buy Amazon. Whoa, all of a sudden it takes off and everybody says, let's buy Amazon up here. And of course it doesn't go anyplace. So that's been a really good tool over the years to use as a setup tool. Because what I really am looking for is a setup condition in the marketplace. I don't want to just buy a stock because I like it. I want a lot of stuff to be there in a stock that I like, then I'm ready to take action on that stock. But I got to have a lot of things coming together. You know, you want to make a really good bowl of chili, you got to have a lot of stuff in there. And the same thing with a good trade. You got to have a lot of stuff going in that trade. Well, you still need probably a measure of trend. How we're going to follow the trend in this stock. I like to use my little Will Trend indicator. This is IBM with Will Trend, mechanical. Oh, we're uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend again. So it's nice to have some type of a trend measurement. There's a lot of them out there. Mine are the best because I developed them, of course. No, that's just a joke. We all like whatever we develop better than the other guys, right? They're all about the same. Mine is nice because it's mechanical, it's absolute. We know what the trend is. So we have a trend measurement for you. There's Apple and Will Trend, same formula, same thing. Oh, you're in a trading range. We saw the advisor were getting very negative in the market. We get above Will Trend, we probably have a trade on in the marketplace. We want to be long, but I wouldn't take a signal with this just because I'm above the trend or a sell because I'm below the trend. I need to have the condition here to set up a trend change. So in my world of trading, it goes selection, I like this stock for some reason. Wait until conditions are right, not one, but 2 or 3 or 4 of those 7 conditions are right. Then a trend change to get into the market. And most people are grabbing one of those elements, and that's all. But I'm very clear. Oh, I like what these guys are doing. I have the conditions I usually say we're going to rally. Then I have a trend change in the market that should confirm the conditional move that I'm expecting to take place in the market. That's how I trade. You could also use trend lines. Trend lines are really easy to use in the market. Just draw a trend line from the recent high. We'll get above it. We'll probably have a buy signal. There's nice trend lines coming down, probably a sell signal. We have a potential buy signal in Apple. But the trend signals, trend lines only will work if there's a condition down here. No condition doesn't mean anything. I only use trend lines when there's a condition in the marketplace. Then I will use the trend line. Say, yeah, we've gone from a downtrend to an uptrend. So I love trend lines, except I want them on top of a condition. Oh gosh, this is the fun thing. Right after you have a snack too. Wealth is not health. We'll talk a little bit about health for a moment. Because we've got that trade coming in 2017 to sell short. And the buy coming in 2022 at the year ending in 2 low point in the marketplace. So, and I've given this enough and I've had positive feedback from people that have changed their lives by doing a couple of things I'd like to share with you. This won't take long, but it's going to, wealth is one thing, but health is far more important. My best friend and running buddy died of very poor health a couple of years ago. He'd been trial lawyer of the year 6 years in a row in California. Major trial lawyer, wonderful dear friend, worth tens of millions of dollars. On his deathbed, Harvey told me, Larry, I would give you all the money I have for one afternoon of feeling good. Not a week, not a day, one afternoon of feeling good. You could have the mansion, well, you could have everything. That's how vital health is. So how do you stay healthy? Well, obviously you are what you eat, you are what you think, and there's some things you can do to stay healthy that I'd like to show you today. This is the big chart right here. This is how you live and how you die. This is your lung function. When you're young, your lungs work well. As you start to age, 20 to 39, that trend starts to come down until over here. It's all about lung function. I thought the reason I exercised and did all this stuff was for my body. No, you know what? It's really for your lung function, as I'll show you. Look at that trend. This is what happens to your lung function as you get older. You're 60 to 79, you're down here and you die, period. In fact, the Framingham study, probably the largest study ever done in this country about people, health, came to the conclusion that lung function is literally a measure of living capacity long before you become terminally ill. Vital capacity, lung function, can predict lifespan. Nothing predicts lifespan better than lung function. So, how do we get that trend to go up instead of going down? That's the answer that we have to look at. Well, there's a couple of interesting articles about this. Run a mile race instead of a marathon. It really gets down to short, intense exercise is probably the best thing for lung function. Not only that, it's short, it's intense, and it's over in a hurry. When I used to run marathons, we'd go out for a training run of 6 hours. That's a long time to run. You have to stop and have lunch someplace along the line, then start running again, right? So what I've switched to is this, what's called high intensity training, HIIT, or pace running, or pace exercise, where it's intense for 10 seconds, pull back, another 10 seconds intense, and that improves lung function more than anything else that's been found. So what can we do? Breathing exercises. Intense short blasts of exercises. With proper training, you can elevate your lung capacity by a lot. My lung capacity as a 73-year-old person, when I'm tested, is a 46-year-old man, because I worked on lung capacity and breathing. So I'm a lot younger in terms of my physical health than a lot of people that are 73 years old. In fact, I'd be willing to say there's not many 73-year-old people that can stand to do a seminar or lecture for, 7-8 hours, standing up all day long. They don't have the health to do it. You have to have lung function ability to do it. That's why if I'm going to continue lecturing, I got to have the physical ability to do this. So one exercise I like to do is what we call 30-20-10s. If you're a jogger or a walker, you can do the same thing. I kind of go slowly, a little jog for 30 seconds, pick it up for 20 seconds, really hard for 10 seconds, and then go back to a 30-second jog. And it's playful, it's fun. You do 10 of those and you're done. You've done 10 really hard, intense 10-second repeats, and you're done for the day. No more 6-hour runs. Wow, that's really nice. You say 15, 20 minutes, you got your exercise done. You can do it in a hotel room, do it any place. So this is how traders can improve lung function. Really easy. You ready for this? Day trade. You will yell a lot. You will really maximize your lung function. Probably a better way of doing it, though. They did a test of senior citizens where the fastest walkers live longer than slow walkers. Really interesting data. Looking at the lives of slow and fast walkers who were 75 years or older, only 19% of the slowest men and women survived 10 years. But after 87, almost call it 90% of the ones that walked the fastest were still alive. Now, if that doesn't tell you the validity of lung function, nothing will. Those little slow, I'll go for a walk today. Well, they got a nice walk in. I'll have a beer now. Versus the guy who had a brisk walk, he's exercised lung function. I'll have 2 beers. Let's go dancing. Right? Come on. Let's go have a good time tonight. Lung function is really critical to have, and your exercise needs to work in that direction. You need to have this high intensity, really get the lungs moving to live a long time, to stay healthy. And then you will enjoy your wealth. That's the most important thing you have, is your health. And I do what I do. That was this summer in the Montana Big Sky State Games, competing with a bunch of old guys, obviously in the same age group. A lot of fun. I do this in the summers. This was a 400-yard dash, I think. Well, my age, it's not really a dash. That's wrong. You know, but I got both feet up off the ground. The interesting thing about doing this, though, there's a bunch of these old guys. They give us our lane assignments. I'm in lane 2 there. They give us our lane assignments about 15 minutes before we run. And every year the staff will go, are you in lane 3 or I was in lane 5 last year. None of us can remember what lanes we're in. We all run. Well, I don't have lane. We have it right on my hand here. But we can run, man, because we have lung function. Jim.
Are you behind everybody or ahead of everybody?
No, actually, who let you in? This race I won. That was my good race. My worst one, I did the high jump this year. I've never done the high jump. Dick Fosbury, the Fosbury flop fame, was there, so I'll go and do the high jump. Well, high jump takes a lot. I just watched it on a YouTube video. If you want to watch a YouTube video, I can high jump. Well, it takes more than a YouTube video to learn the high jump. But I won my age group because nobody else showed up to high jump. In the running events, they did. Fortunately, I won those as well, but the high jump, it was last man jumping, I guess. But anyway, I practice what I preach. And it does work. I can tell you that. It clearly works. It makes a real big difference in your life.